everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Andrea, and today I have my fourth update for the Pan Those Eyeshadows Project Pan.
Why are you starting again?
I'm starting a different video now.
What video?
My eyeshadow video. So this is a project that was, of course, created by Alexy, who I always have linked down below,
Alexy.
Even though that she hasn't posted
Alexa.
No, not Alexa. Alexy. Even though she hasn't posted in quite a while, she still has all her old videos up, so if you've never seen...
Alexa is in the kitchen.
Yes, Alexa is in the kitchen. So if you've never seen the start of this project, I think she still has her videos up. So I always link her down below, but so many people, so many people do this project because it's so fun. So this year, I feel like everybody's just doing it a little bit differently. So this year I'm doing only palettes. I don't have any pan in. I am randomizing the palette, but then I'm picking my own color story. So I'm working on 4 at a time, if I haven't said that. And I also, let's calm down here. And I also have an extra little rule, quote unquote, that every palette I roll in, not only do I have to hit pan in one shadow that I choose, but I also have to use every other shade in the palette, which helps me feel like I'm not just hyper focusing in on that one shade, even though for the most part, once I use all the other shadows once, I don't touch them again, but at least I'm using them once. So, and a lot of these palettes I have that don't have pan in them are palettes that I have not used before. So that's another added bonus for that. Careful. So unfortunately, I do not have any pan to share with you today. I thought I might, but I think I'm still a little bit away. So we'll just go through the 4 that I have in for right now. I still feel like I'm making some decent progress. So this first one has been in since the beginning of the project. And that's the other thing this year. I've decided I'm not doing usage goals. I want to hit pan on things. And some of this stuff is gonna be boring, because especially I've been working on a bunch of mattes because I have so many shimmers and metallics and other projects. But I want to hit pan in my stuff, so you can't do that unless you focus in on it and use it. And this one, I'm seeing the progress, but I still feel like I'm quite a ways away, especially because this first shade is more of a transition shade, so I use a fluffier brush for it. I'm not hitting such a targeted area. But the first shadow that is in this project is this one from Lovelux Beauty. This is their Bittersweet Quad. The shade is called Juicy. So I don't know. I'm so afraid because this one shadow is just so delicate, but I'm weird, I know. Okay, you can see the dip. There's definitely a dip. It's definitely looking used. But again, I'm assuming these are just standard pans, so I'm probably pretty far away from hitting pan. But I've used this 9 more times. I've used this shadow 35 times. And that's the use that I've got on it. So this is probably going to be in here almost all year long. That's fine. That's totally fine. Whoops. And I am wearing all of these shadows today. So this one it's very hard to see, but it's blended out in my transition above the green in my crease. So then the next palette that's in here, the next longest palette, I don't know. This next palette is my Glamlight Pie palette, which this is the one that everyone's like, oh, Glamlight is so easy to hit pan on. Apparently not for me, because I have used this shade 14 times, and I've got a good dip going, but I have not hit pan. So I am obviously working on this shade Peach right here. And this formula, I feel like, unless you're really digging with a brush, you're not picking a ton up on it. So you really do more have to use your fingers if you want to get a super intense payoff. And when you use your finger, it just takes longer. So like I said, I've got a total of 14 uses on it. I had 9 and I used it 5 more times this month. This is what is on the inner half of my eye, although it looks very similar to what I have on the outer half, so it's kind of hard to differentiate between the two. But this is a beautiful shade. It's a really pretty spring/summer shade. It's just working on a lot of eyeshadows and a lot of projects, and it's really hard to get a ton of use on stuff that's not a matte. Then the next palette that I am working on is this one from Viseart. This is the Neutral Mattes palette. And the shade I picked is this shade right here, shade 11. They don't have names. So this is... why do you have such a hard time opening that door? Do you need help?
Yeah.
Oh, you got it. This is, I'm sure, going to take a long time because this is a matte, but I also do use it more, and it's going to be really hard to see, but it's more, I have it, if I don't want like a super deep outer corner, but it's still deeper than a lot of the other stuff that I use. That's like what I put in my outer corner. So I am using a smaller brush with it, so I think you can tell, like, there's definitely a little dip forming in there. So I've used this one 13 more times this past month for a total of 20 times on this. So that's gonna, oh, of course I forgot swatches. I'll do swatches at the end, although my color story hasn't changed from last time, but still. And then I rolled this palette in last month, and this is the Avocado Toast palette from BH Cosmetics. Now, obviously the rest of the palettes have all been in for a while. I have done my No Pan Left Behind with all of those. So this one I've only got 4 shades left to use before I hit the No Pan Left Behind criteria for this project, but I'm not anywhere close to hitting pan on the shade that's actually in this project, so I'm not super worried about it. So the shade that I picked is this green matte right here called Ripe. I don't know, I've only used it 5 times, so I don't know. It's really hard to see because this packaging is so reflective. Like, I don't even know, can you see barely any disturbance? I feel like someone was talking about these are really easy to hit pan in as far as mattes go. I don't know if I believe that, but anyway. So that, okay, let me give you swatches real quick, and then that's pretty much going to be it for my video, because like I said, I don't have pan in anything, and I'm not rolling anything in preemptively, because I'm not even sure that I'll have pan in anything next month either. But but I am quite confident that the next shade I will have pan in for this project is the peach shade from the Pie palette, because I don't think these pans are like super, super deep, and I do have quite a good dip going on in it right now. See, part of the problem is like these two, Juicy and Peach, that would make such a pretty just like 2 shadow look. I don't like to, I have so many shadows. I don't do 1 shadow or 2 shadow looks. Like, every time I do my makeup or do my eyes, I'm using like 7, 8, 9 shadows at a time. So in theory, it would make a great 2 shadow look. In reality, that's just never going to happen, because that's not how I use eyeshadows. Also, this shadow right here it's a little deep, but if you start it in your crease and you buff it out, it does make a really good like crease transition shade. And then finally we have Ripe. And so there we go. So the Ripe, that's kind of why my eye look is a little, I mean, I'm not going to say it's bad by any means, but definitely not my favorite one I've ever done. But that green in the crease, I'm gonna have to experiment, because green and orange usually do go pretty well together, but I'm wondering, I'm gonna have to like play around with it a little bit. But that is it for my Pan Those Eyeshadows update for today. Hopefully next month I will have pan on that peach shade and be able to roll in a new palette. But for now, this is where we are at. I don't know what Madeline is doing down there. So let me know how you are doing with your eyeshadow panning projects. Are you super slow like me, or are you just like wham bam thank you ma'am, hitting pan all over the place and making us all look bad? Danny and Misty, Jessica, probably pretty much everybody else besides me, but that's fine. It's fine. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you are staying safe and sane and healthy, having a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye.
Bye. I want